Hello students, it's Mrs. Girot, and it's that time that you start learning how to use GIMP to do a little bit of post-production and make sure that your images of your artwork are ready to publish. So you want to go to www.gimp.org and just go to this top download menu, and it will give you GIMP for Windows. If you have a Mac, you can try this version right here, and I just download it from this point here, download GIMP directly. So click on that one right there, and you can just save it wherever. I usually just save that to downloads, so save. And then you'll notice down here in the bottom left, it's saving it. That's not installing. That's just saving the installer. You're going to have to still execute that installer after it downloads. And you'll do that just by clicking on it. And yes, you want it in English, click OK, and you're going to click install, okay? Just be patient and make sure that you work through all of the steps until it's finished. Then you can open it back up, and this is what it looks like. Here on your left-hand side are all of your tools, and you also have some tool options. Usually this is attached, but it's floating around right now. And first thing you can do is over here and click on this X-Acto knife, and you can notice if you just hover your cursor over it, it tells you this is the crop tool. So you click on that, and then just click and drag around where you want to crop. So just be thinking, you know, about what visually looks good. You can grab those corners and drag them and hug in to your image. Oops, I clicked on the inside, so it already cropped it. I probably would have cropped a little bit more off the edges if it were my drawing personally. And whoops, you have to click, sorry, I keep on just not really paying attention to what I'm doing. Click inside, that will actually do the cropping. Now when you make a mistake, you just hold down the control button and hit Z. And notice I can go all the way out and undo all of the changes that I made, or I can go edit, redo, and I can get back to where I was. Now here is something really sneaky, and we're talking about publishing your work here, okay? So if you have a blog, an artist portfolio that you're posting online because you're trying to get work and you're trying to share your work, well, you can get a little bit sneaky here. And you can improve your images, first of all, by cropping them. And then second, go into colors and go into the brightness and contrast tool. This is like the best. Watch how this image improves as I adjust the contrast. Remember how I was talking about getting those pure whites and those darks, those pure blacks? Well, look at what just happened, okay? Do you see all of a sudden I'm getting my pure blacks, aren't I? And I'm getting my bright whites, because that's what contrast is. Contrast is the difference, this wonderful range between pure white and pure black. And when you do contrast, it makes an image really pop, doesn't it? Watch, let me click the preview so you can see what it was before. Wow. Huge difference before and after. Okay, so then you're just going to click OK, and you'll want to file. If you want to save the GIMP version, you can. Otherwise, if you're just wanting to export it into an image that you can actually publish or post to the Dropbox, you do export as. And it will automatically call it a ping. You're gonna usually title things like with your first initial and last name, and then maybe this could be my eggs, still life. And don't save it as a ping, save it as a JPEG, JPG. The other way to find that extension is to go down here. It says select file type by extension. You click on that little plus right there, and you notice all these different types of file types that you can save it as. But what you want to save it as is a JPEG. So if you click on that, there's all these different extensions. Once you just click on it and click export, whoops, it's going to automatically make it into a JPEG. So just click export. And when you do that, you get this little export as a JPEG quality, and it has like 90% quality. I am going to move this way over for a second because I don't want it to get lost. It's gonna pop behind everything in a second. I just have to move this over because I want to be able to see my eggs. I have two screens up. That's why I was able to move it over so far. I want to be able to see what I'm doing. So I'm going to click on this show preview and image window box, and it tells me that this image is 12 kilobytes. That is super, super, super tiny. I'm going to increase the quality to 100%. That's 39. We could already tell from the beginning image that we got of this that it was a very small file. So whoever's taking this picture, they might be doing it on their phone, and they might have it the settings to like the smallest quality image possible. So we don't get a lot of detail. It doesn't look real crisp. We probably can't blow it up and look at it, but good enough. It's a much better improvement now. So click export. And now when you go to look in your files, wherever it was that I saved that, it will have that file. Let's look at another image. So yeah, this was an image that a lot of people liked, and you'll notice that it's not cropped. So there's a lot of distraction happening there. We just want to see the art. So I'm going to right click and I'm going to copy. And then I'm going to file, create from clipboard. Okay, so I'm going to just crop this down. It's going to be huge, huge difference. Nobody can crop like I can. Okay, so once you get that on there, you can just grab the corners and move it about. And look at what a huge improvement that is. Maybe I want to increase the height a little. You can play around with it until it looks good, and then click in the center and it's cropped. Okay. And the other thing that I can probably do is play around with that brightness and contrast, but do I really need to on this image? It already has brightness and contrast. So I don't think there's really anything that I could do to improve. I'm gonna just cancel that. It looks awesome already. But big improvement, right? Here's another gorgeous. Right click, copy, file, create from the clipboard. And it's lovely. It's showing the whole outline of the paper, and that's kind of cool, but I generally just like to see the art itself. So I'm going to just crop away the edges there. I think that this student was trying to create a horizon line. Here's a really good point to make. That horizon line is not really, it's not really engaging with the egg at all. If it were me, I would probably create my horizon line down here. This is kind of how that would look. First, let me just, should I finish my cropping job first? Yes, Mrs. Girot. Okay, so let's crop it. I'm just gonna take it to about there. And maybe I'm going to bring the foreground up a little bit. So let's see. Okay. Cracking the paper is pretty cool. I want to draw that viewer's eye more into the egg. There's just so much foreground there. The egg is just kind of getting lost. So there's where I'm going to crop it, and then I'm going to create a lower horizon. And so this is going to be me drawing in GIMP, which is really fun. And I'm going to click on the paintbrush. I'm going to double click on this foreground color, and it's going to give me this little eyedropper tool. I want to pick a color that is very much in tune with the drawing itself. So I'm going to click this color right here. This is probably the darkest color there is, and it shows up here. And I just click OK. And you'll notice that now the foreground color, which is the color any of the tools are going to paint or fill in, is now this gray color. So I can just go ahead and come in here now. My brush is really small. It's a tiny dot. So I'm going to increase the size of my brush. As I increase it, you can see it getting bigger. Okay, so that looks about good. So I'm just going to draw my foreground line. I guess I like a foreground playing with my object. That's just me. So I'm going to go around and I'm going to trace the foreground, the horizon line about there, and then I'm going to fill that in. So to fill it in, I'm just going to make my brush huge, and I'm just going to come in here and play around. And you'll notice when I do that, I kind of lose some of that edge up here on the top, which is why I say go black. So I'm just going to go ahead and click on this black right here, and let's see what happens when I actually have a black background. Okay, I start to get a little bit more of a visual snap, which is what we're going for. I'm starting to get some more contrast. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and just play with the brightness and contrast now that I've got that black background in there, and I'm going to see if I can make this egg pop. Bam! Did you see that? All I did was increase the contrast, and it was pretty stunning, wasn't it? So this GIMP program is pretty cool. It can help you to get your artwork to pop a little bit. And let's see here. Yeah, if you just need to do some editing to make it look more artistic. I love the way that looks. That's how it was before. This is after. And then of course, if you wanted to, you could just grab your paintbrush and put your signature on there. So you might want to grab a different type of brush, and oh, that's terrible. But that works. So have fun with GIMP. Make your work publishable. Put it on a blog. Get your work out there. Publish it. But most importantly, when you are submitting your work to me, I want this kind of quality. I want your artwork to pop for me. I want it to be cropped. I want, when we do our critiques, for everybody to be like, man, that is amazing.